Hello world, it's me, William, and yeah, I write Entropy songs. I'm almost finished with my seventh album. I'll finish up today. So, I've been writing a lot of songs. You see my YouTube videos, those 10 of you who watch them actually. Uh, and I thought, I haven't recorded any lessons on how to learn these songs. And, although a lot of my stuff is pretty easy, self explanatory, I thought, why don't I do lessons? Just to, have fun. Very few people are probably going to watch these, but it's okay. So, for our first lesson, we're going to learn how to play the A Train to Hell. Now, that's one of my favorites. It's off my fifth album, Destroyer of Worlds. And it's cool because it's bluesy. I don't write a lot of bluesy. Well, now I'm writing a lot more, as you'll find on my seventh album, because you're going to listen to it. But, yeah, this is a bluesy. It was my first blues song I ever really wrote. And it has a cool riff. It's about an actual person. I'm not telling who. And, yeah, the A Train to Hell. So, here we go. So, when you... Now, when you want it in standard tuning, of course. And for your amp, I'd say put the gain around 4, because this is bluesy. We don't want it too distorted. So here's the first part of the song. Now, you can listen to the song on my channel, and then that'll give you a better idea of how to play it. But first we start off with a cool chord. I love this chord, actually. It's a mix. I don't know what it's called. I'm not the, I don't know that. But it's like an A major with a minor third. So it's really cool. So here's how you play it. First I'll play the notes and I'll tell you what they are. It's... So basically that is open A, 7th fret on the D string, 6th fret on the G string, 5th fret on the B string, so 7, 6, 5, and then the kicker, 8th fret on the high E. So the whole chord sounds like... Which, it's a cool chord. So what you do to start it off is you hit... It's kind of arpeggio, but it's not all the notes. It's like skip notes. You start off with open E, and then you hit that third, which is on the G string. So, and then last but not least, you hit that minor third that makes it so funky and bluesy on the high E. So slowly it would be. Actually, no. Scratch that. You don't hit this. You actually hit these two, and then you basically do an upstroke for the whole chord. So it's slowly it'd be. So then in time, in the correct time, it goes. And then we switch chords to make it jazzy all of a sudden. We play this weird kind of... It's a 7th chord, but it has that same note. Just, to throw it in there. And you basically... I'll play it and then I'll tell you the notes. Now this note, it might not sound right. Depends on your guitar. I have a high action guitar, so it's a problem. But it doesn't need the sound. It's okay if it doesn't. Preferably it should, but, don't worry about it. And basically how you play this part of the song is you hit that D on the 5th fret of the A string twice, and then you play the chord. So slowly it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. But then there's a little curveball. You take your pinky off that 8th fret of the high E, and you just play it with the bar on the 5th fret. So for 2 chords, so the whole thing slow would be. So at full tempo it goes. And then you go back into that first part, which is, if you forgot. And then in the classic blues tradition, you go into the fifth chord, 1-4-5 chord progression, using the Hendrix chord, which is basically open E, and then 7th fret of the A string, 6th fret of the D string, 7th fret, so you get a third. But then it gets, funky on top. You get 7th fret of the G string and 8th fret of the B. So the whole chord is. So then then together it's. And then you do that same, the 2 palm muted thing with, but this time with the open E. So it's. And slowed down, that would be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then the whole thing's. And then you go back and do that D chord that we just did. And then you guessed it. And then you end it with 6 strokes of that Hendrix chord. So, in case you're lost, I'll play the whole thing slow and then at full speed. So that was slow, and then fast it's full speed. And then, as you know, if you've heard the song, we go into the lyrics where we basically hit the chord downstroke, though. That A chord just intermittently. You know the feeling of a Facebook friend. Chord, you see a friendship that will never end. And then you do this cool thing on the don't think that it's legitimate part where you hit that D chord, but you keep the pinky on this time. But you hit it twice, and then you do double speed, but mute it out, like this, kind of like, the same idea. So you go, or in full speed, and then back to. And then you do that end part of the intro again. And then you do another verse that's the same thing. And then, that's basically every element of the song right there. But I'll show you a little bit of the solo. I can't do it exactly, but in essence, it goes like... A string has had tuning problems. So anyway, that's a lot to take in, and I'm not going to teach you every bit of it. You can improvise. Like if you go like, I wouldn't mind. Just, you know, you can improvise on it. But basically, you have to know it's an A minor pentatonic, which is pretty obvious, with a few diatonic notes like that second there. Yeah, just do it in A minor pentatonic. And if you want to know some of the parts, just I'll play them slower. And then, of course, the end, it's pretty iconic. The secret to that end is, yeah, you guessed it, 8th fret, the magic note in this song. And then you just go back into it, and then you end with a little bit more of that. So that's basically how you play the A Train to Hell. Hope you like this lesson. It's my first one. Have a good day, everyone.